Hi, Craig Howard here this morning again. Sorry I've got to record this on my cell phone, but I'm off to do an unpleasant task, or at least to me it's unpleasant. For you dental hygienists out there, please don't take offense. But I'm on my way to the dentist and had to leave fairly early and didn't get time to get my devotional recorded before I left. You know, we all have to do unpleasant things, don't we? Sometimes at work, sometimes in other areas. We have to do things that we don't really want to do, things that are necessary, but not necessarily things that we want to do. Paul found that was even necessary in the work of ministry. He said in 1 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 9, he said, he told the church at Thessalonica, he said, "Remember how I toiled for you, laboring and toiling day and night, so that I wouldn't be a burden to any of you for the sake of the gospel." In other words, he said, so I could continue to preach the gospel effectively and not be rejected by this young church or by people that he was trying to minister to. He worked doing all sorts of things that were unpleasant, that were difficult, that required a lot of time and energy, but he did it for the sake of the gospel. And you know, ministry is a lot like that. And I'm not talking necessarily just about pastoral ministry, but ministry in general for a layman, for a pastor, for anybody. There are times that in ministry we have to do things that aren't really things that we want to do, things that we set out in the morning and say, man, I just can't wait to go do that. We had a Bible school meeting last night at our church, and you know, anybody who's ever worked with Bible school knows that putting on a Bible school requires a lot of effort and energy, a lot of people. It takes a lot of time. You're doing it in the evening when you come home from work and you're already tired, but you have to leave and go to Bible school because that's the commitment you made. Ministry takes people who are willing to commit to doing the work of the gospel, even when they're tired, even when they don't want to, even when it requires doing something unpleasant. Ministry isn't always about just being blessed and having a great time and enjoying everything that you do and fellowshipping with great people and eating great food and all the things that are the fun side of ministry. It's not always about that. Sometimes it's about sitting and crying with somebody who's just been through a very difficult time. Or sometimes it's about leaving the house when you're dog tired and going and taking care of a bunch of kids at a children's program. Or going to a Bible study when you don't feel like going to a Bible study. Or teaching a Bible study when you don't feel like teaching a Bible study. In other words, sometimes ministry is sort of labor and toil. It's not just sitting in wonderful worship and praise services and all of that. Sometimes it requires labor. And I think sometimes a lot of people are kind of bowing out of ministry and not participating in ministry because it's not exciting all the time and because it's not fun all the time. And in a volunteer setting where you're not getting paid for it, you expect that in going to work. You expect that there are going to be times at work where it's not going to be fun or pleasant. But as a volunteer, you know, I don't want to do that if it's not going to be something that I'm going to enjoy. I'm thankful for the people in my church and the people in your church and the people in all the churches around who give their time and energy when it isn't fun. And my challenge to you this morning is, if God's called you to work in some area of ministry, or if your church is needing help in some area of ministry, or if there is a ministry opportunity available for you, even if it's not necessarily fun, it's still ministry. And Paul said, I do it for the sake of the gospel, not for myself. Ministry isn't about us. It's about sharing the gospel of Jesus Christ. Well, you think about that this morning as you go through your day and as you have ministry opportunities open up to you and become available to you. What's your criteria for getting involved in ministry? Is it just if it's fun enough, or is it for the furtherance of the sake of the gospel? Well, I hope you have a wonderful day today. It's a pretty day today. Wish I wasn't going to the dentist, but I am. So I'll talk to you tomorrow. You have a great day. God bless.